Number 10. Dr. Richard Batista from Long Island, New York made one of the oddest and creepiest requests in his divorce settlement. He wanted his cheating wife to return the kidney that he'd given her. And kidney isn't the name of their pet chihuahua. We're talking about the actual organ here, folks. Dr. Batista gave his wife Donnell a kidney back in 2001, but I guess since she cheated on him, he wanted to send a clear message. You wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for my organ, so give it back, or I want $1.5 billion. Law experts were puzzled by this request because organ donation is legally a gift, not a loan, and by giving the kidney back, Mrs. Batista would basically be signing her death certificate. Poor Dr. Batista was clearly very bitter. Number 9. Not many people can boast that they've had to fight for the right to own some of Bob Dylan's hair. Only in the world of rock and roll, right? Well, that's how ugly the divorce of the Black Keys' Dan Auerbach and Stephanie Gonis got. But when it was finally over in 2013, Stephanie walked away with $5 million, a home, a Toyota Highlander, and most notably, Bob Dylan's hair. Well, a lock of it at least. As TMZ reported, it's unclear how the hair was obtained, if the hair contains any product, etc. But Dan agreed to part ways with it in the divorce. No word if Dan contacted Bob Dylan's barber to call dibs on a new lock of the singer-songwriter's tresses when one would become available. Number 8. Sometimes divorce settlements become very specific, but rarely have we seen something as detailed as this. A woman was apparently awarded an ice cream allotment in her divorce settlement. Her husband, an Indian stockbroker, had accused her of spending all of his money on ice cream. Still trying to figure that one out. But anyways, he was ordered to pay her $1,300 in alimony every month, plus an additional $2.50 for her to buy ice cream. Is that $2.50 a month, a week, a day, an hour? If she was eating so much ice cream, maybe she should also have received a gym allotment. Oh well, I guess some people really do scream for ice cream. Number 7. Winning a Nobel Prize is a big deal in more ways than one. First of all, because obviously it's an incredible honor and you get great recognition from your peers. Second, because it comes with $1 million in prize money. But when Robert Lucas won the 1995 Nobel Prize for Economics, things got kind of weird. That's because when he got divorced 6 years earlier, he'd agreed to share half of any future Nobel Prize winnings with his ex. The weirdest thing is that the clause was set to expire in less than a month after his win. So if Lucas's win had come just a tiny bit later, he wouldn't have had to give the ex-Mrs. Lucas $500,000. When he was asked about the deal after the fact, the economics scholar said, "A deal's a deal. It was her idea. Maybe if I'd known I'd win, I would have resisted the clause." Yeah. Number 6. Maybe Robert Lucas was just taking a page from Albert Einstein's playbook when he agreed to give his wife half his Nobel Prize money. But although Einstein has always been considered a genius, reports that he wasn't very smart in school certainly corroborate this story, since Einstein willingly signed away the total sum of the prize money from his Nobel Prize to his wife Mileva. I guess Einstein either felt very confident he wouldn't win, or he wanted to make sure his wife couldn't whine about the settlement if he ever did win. Or he just loved her so much he hoped she'd come back when he got the money. Number 5. Here's another crazy, creepy divorce settlement story. This Australian man was forced to dig up his parents' remains when he got divorced. He'd buried his parents' ashes on his family farm, but when his wife was awarded the property in the divorce proceedings, he was told he had 2 weeks to remove his parents' remains and tombstones from the premises. Either this guy really wronged his wife, or she's the most heartless witch you could imagine, since we don't use the B word around here. Number 4. Singer-songwriter Marvin Gaye was one of the most influential artists in molding the Motown sound in the 1960s. Unfortunately, he wasn't good at managing his personal finances and was known to spend so lavishly he often couldn't pay his most basic bills. In 1977, when he was going through his divorce with Anna Gordy, he was also going through a particularly rough time financially. That's when his lawyer came up with this novel idea. Gaye would record a new album and give all of the royalties to Gordy as alimony. So Gaye headed to the studio and recorded the double album Here, My Dear to honor his deal with Gordy. Unfortunately for her, critics and audiences didn't love Gaye's divorce-themed concept album. Oddly enough though, today's critics praised the album, which was the singer's worst charting record of the 1970s. 7 years after his divorce, Gaye was shot dead by his father during an argument. Anna Gordy Gaye died in 2014. She was 92. Number 3. When Knight Rider and Baywatch star David Hasselhoff divorced Pamela Bach, his second wife, after a marriage that lasted almost 20 years, their settlement was pretty standard, except for one exception. It seems the settlement papers explicitly said that he would get to keep the rights to his nicknames, Hoff and Malibu Dave, as well as the catchphrase, "Don't hassle the Hoff." You have to wonder why the woman would ever want to use such cheesy stuff, or if she'd ever try to fight for these trademark names and phrases anyways, but I guess the Hoff just wanted to make sure there was no question as to who owned them. Number 2. In today's economy, finding affordable housing can be hard no matter where you live. That's why in 2013, a judge in Spain ordered a divorcing couple to split their 2,700 square foot apartment in two. Not literally, of course, but she determined it was the only fair option for the couple given their financial situation. This meant the pair had to continue living side by side, which might not have been ideal for them, but perfect for their daughters, who were 6 and 7 at the time. I just hope they didn't want a divorce because they couldn't stand to be in the same room anymore. Number 1. In most countries where common law applies, judges order divorcing couples to split their assets evenly, right down the middle. But when they say that, they don't mean cut everything in half, literally. Yep, that's exactly what a Cambodian husband decided to do. When Moam Sarim and Vatnavi divorced, Sarim and his family showed up with saws and cut the couple's 20 by 24.5 foot house in half. He then took his pieces away, presumably to rebuild somewhere else. Law enforcement officials couldn't do anything else than just watch and make sure everything was done legally, because Sarim wasn't doing anything wrong. The wife said that while the situation was very strange, it was what my husband wanted. That's very mature of her, wouldn't you say?